this tampering situation with Miami and the
Yeah.
Duke quarterback
Mm-hmm.
and the absolute insanity that surrounds that situation, and then what our athletic director, Danny White, had to say about that. Talk us through this.
Danny White had a quote after, I believe this is right after the news hit that Duke's quarterback was going to hit the portal and that Miami had tampered with him. I mean, it wasn't even a question. When this guy hit the portal, Blake, it wasn't like people knew immediately it was Miami. It was very weird. It wasn't like any waiting period. It was like, this is Miami. This is for sure Miami doing this. And we'll get into his contract details in a minute. But Danny White said after that situation, if NIL rules exist, they need to be followed with penalties for violators. I have a couple questions about that because it's kind of interesting to me. In his quote, he says, if NIL rules exist. So my question to Danny, do they exist? Do the actual rules exist? Are they actually on
Right.
paper? And if they're not, then why are we following imaginary rules? It cracks me up when I'm on Twitter, Blake, and I'm looking at an On3 post for a commitment, and people are like, tampering, tampering, what do you mean? Everyone's tampering. Like, tampering is just the new standard of college football. It's like there's no penalties for tampering. Why are we even bringing it up? And listen, this is not me saying there shouldn't be. There definitely should be. There should be penalties for tampering.
Right.
But when we have our athletic director saying, we're not going to tamper, we're going to play by the rules, okay, why? No one else is. And no one else is going to get in trouble for it. So why are we the ones hurting ourselves, right? We're hurting ourselves, Blake, by not saying we're going to play by these imaginary rules that apparently Danny White doesn't even know if they exist or not, because he says, if the rules exist, well, they don't currently. So why are we holding ourselves back? That's my question to Danny White. Why would we hold ourselves back? And I think, man, I mean, if you look at how the portal played out, which we end up having a pretty good portal class, like it's solid. But if you look at the QB situation, man, we could end up saying it's like, man, we could have went out and got an established veteran, but Danny White wanted to play by the imaginary rules.
Yeah, I mean, look, and who knows if that's true or not. Now, I'll say this: we've got confirmed, information that Lane Kiffin was tampering left, right, and center, and twice on Sunday.
But nobody
Okay, Lane
cares,
Kiffin
apparently.
was coming here on a private jet trying to intercept Sam Levitt and all of this craziness. Okay, so screw that guy, screw Lane Kiffin, and his bogus crap. Okay, but to your point, Austin, should there be rules? Yes. Are there right now? No. And so are we hurting ourselves if we're, trying to pretend to play by these imaginary rules? And who knows? Now, real quick, I want to talk more about the actual situation with Miami because this is crazy to me, Austin. And look, I'm going to
Nuts.
sound like I'm going to sound like an old head right now, okay? And that's okay.
I think most people
Because
agree with you.
when it comes to football, I am an old head, okay? But you've got Miami who stole this guy from Duke, and we
Yes.
got people in the chat here, Ben and others, saying they feel sorry for Duke, although they did the same thing to Tulane. Ben says, um, you've
Yeah.
got Miami who has stolen this quarterback from Duke, and Austin, fill in the gaps here for me, but $7 million. Did I get that right? $7
Yeah.
million dollars
Somewhere in that range. Yes.
incentives, including forcing them to give a scholarship to his sister to come play a sport of some sort at Miami, right?
That is
Am I correct
correct.
so far?
That is correct.
Luxury housing. Am I
Bingo.
correct so far?
Bingo.
And what else? Like pickle
And
sandwiches every day? Like what like
and and another big part of the deal was an Adidas campaign, which I'm
Adidas
assuming
campaign?
is more
More
money
money.
on top
More
of the
money.
guaranteed money that's already being offered.
More money. And so I bring all this up to say, to first and foremost sound like a curmudgeon, okay, because I am when it comes to this. That is absolutely nuts,
Nuts,
okay,
dude.
in college football. It's just absolutely bonkers that we've got these college football players, making more than a lot of NFL guys do. There's no rules, and
Yeah.
Miami's got all this. Look, I'm not going to speculate about where Miami gets their money, but let's just be honest, right? Miami's not got the greatest reputation for ethics, right?
No. They
Okay.
do not.
So Miami is, throwing all this craziness around. And then you've got Danny White, as you mentioned, Austin, who's saying, and look, justifiably, he probably looks at that and thinks it's bogus as well. But it's like, dang, Danny, I get it if the money is not there for us, but we got to find a way to make it there or something, Austin.
And I don't even think it's the money, man. I really don't think it's about the money right now. I really don't. I think Danny White sees those things, and you can tell Danny White's the kind of kid in third grade that reminded the teacher about the spelling test. He is. That's who Danny White is. That's the kind of person he is. He was a tattletale in grade school. That's Danny White. And you have Danny White now saying, "Oh, I don't want to give the kind of contract Miami's given." It's like, well, at some point, it's adapt or die. I mean, we're seeing this at Clemson
Exactly.
with Dabo. Like Dabo
Yes.
refused to hit the portal for 3 years, and it killed his roster. It killed his roster. And I respect Dabo for having integrity and wanting to do it a certain way. But at some point, you have to adapt to current college football. What happened with Nick Saban, Blake? He said, I don't like the current version of college football, so I'm taking my ball and
He
I'm
got out.
going home. That's what Nick Saban
Yeah.
did. And again, like we're all in agreement. That's the frustrating thing here. Like maybe outside the players, some of the players that are benefiting from this, I'd say the top 1 to 2% of players who are actually benefiting from all of this. Outside of that, pretty much everyone's in agreement. Like it's a complete crap show right now. This is not sustainable. It's completely not sustainable. And the chat's going fast here. It's a hot topic, but I saw somewhere a couple chats ago talking about a CBA and how essentially we need actual legitimate contracts that are over a year long to actually sustain this sport. Could not agree more. I wish you all were here for last
Yeah.
offseason discussions because I've been saying for years now, like at least 2 years now, I've been saying on the show and off the show that I think college football, as much as we don't want this, okay, I don't want this. I don't want this to be a minor league completely to the NFL. I don't want that. I think
Right.
college football is so much more than that. But I think if we're going to save the sport, man, like if we're going to save the sport, we have to have a structure somewhat similar to the NFL. We have to, because at this point, it's like people are saying it's paid mercenaries, and you're basically it's sink or swim. Like it's all or not. Like Miami saying we don't care about the unwritten rules, we don't care about the written rules if there are any. We're gonna go out. We're going to maximize the offer. Like when you say they're making more than NFL players, you are not wrong. I mean, they're making more than pretty much dang near every backup quarterback in the NFL. And if you're not drafted in the top 15, then you might as well go back to college if you're good enough to play
Yeah.
in college. It's more money. Dude,
Yes.
Shadur Sanders, okay, dropped to the 5th round of the NFL draft last season. Okay, his entire rookie contract is $4 to $5 million, Blake. $4 to $5 million. Yet this Duke quarterback, who is a good player, he will never play. He will never be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I'll put my name behind that. Y'all can come back to this video if I'm wrong. He will never be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Just made more than Shadur Sanders will make on his 3 to 4 year rookie contract. I think it's 4 years. It might be 3 for 5th round picks. So 3-year rookie contract. He makes more in a single season. Plus, by the way, you have to take my sister. You have to give her a full ride, give her NIL deals, luxury house. Like, since when can we give? Dude, Reggie Bush got his Heisman taken away, and it was only reinstated, a year or two ago? Because his mom, Reggie Bush grew up in the streets, bro. Like, he didn't have any money. USC bought his mom a house. That's all they did. Now we're openly, reportedly giving $7 million for a season and luxury housing on top of paying for my sister's NIL. Like, what are we doing? How did we go from the Reggie Bush situation, which was within our lifetimes, Blake, to this? Now it's absurd to me, man.
It absolutely is. And look, I am as red-blooded American as anyone else. I hate rules and regulations. I hate laws unnecessary. But when it comes to something like this, and it's the Wild West. But I still have pride in being Tennessee Volunteer, Austin. So I want to win. Do I want to be unethical? No. But if there's no rules right now, Austin, then Danny White, freaking do whatever you got to do to win. Period.
I got a couple of points to make. One is Danny's completely lost the fan base with the entertainment district and everything. Like, he started responding to people. That's like the new thing on Twitter, Blake. When we lost to Kentucky basketball yesterday, which we'll reluctantly touch on for about 60 seconds later in the show. But when we blew that lead, people immediately started tweeting Danny White about the entertainment district. They're like, at least we're getting that entertainment district. Like, but then he started responding to people about that. And this was a week or so ago. But dude, it was a terrible look. It was such a terrible look because it's just, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, the entertainment district, whatever. Like, it's whatever. Nobody really cares about it. Longtime fans really do not care about it one bit. But when you're sitting there responding to people on Twitter, man, it looks weak. It looks super weak, especially when the portal is open right now, especially when other teams are going out and making moves and improving their roster. And I know Danny's not like targeting guys in the portal, but he has a big part in it as far as the contracts are concerned and things like that. And again, I mean, he kind of showed his hand when he's saying, hey, if there's rules, we need to follow them. So he's I'm sure he's micromanaging Heupel and all the coaches' moves with all that and making sure they're doing things by the books, whatever the books say. And that's the problem. Like, if you want to put blame on someone, you can say, well, it's the NCAA's fault and it's like the lack of leadership in the sport's fault. But at the end of the day, again, that's all well known. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows that's the case. And everyone agrees, well, we should fix it, but nobody actually knows how to implement a fix. So while that's the case, again, it's adapt or die. At the end of the day, I think everyone in the chat can agree. We just want the Vols to win football games. We do. And I'm with you. Like, I want to I want to be ethical and whatever. But at the end of the day, man, like, is it even being unethical right now? Because this is the state of the sport. Now, again, there's a great argument to be made, and it's just something we'll probably talk about a lot during the offseason, but there's a great argument to be made that the sport is unsustainable in this current state. It just is. It's completely unsustainable. I've used this analogy a lot, Blake. I have no idea as a fan why you'd buy a jersey anymore. Why would you buy a jersey?
Sure.
There's no point in buying a jersey because that guy, unless he's a senior and he has no eligibility, even then, who knows when a judge is just going to sign off randomly and say, here's your 7th year of college football. And then he hits the portal and then he goes somewhere else. Like, why would you even invest in a jersey or invest in a player when they can pop up and leave at any moment? And listen, again, you're totally on point. It's for sure all about the money right now. It's all about the money for the playoff committee. It's all about the money for the SEC commissioners and the conference commissioners. And it's all about the money for the players at the moment. My problem is you will lose fans. Eventually, you will lose fans and money because why would you listen? When I was a kid, Blake, the first player I grew up loving was Eric Berry. That was the first great player I grew up watching as a Tennessee fan. Well, imagine if I'm 10 years old, right? And I'm watching the Volunteers and I see Eric Berry his true freshman year, but then it seemed like Miami or Ohio State or, Oregon or whoever comes in and offers Eric Berry $5 million the following season and he leaves to go play for another school. Well, all of a sudden, my favorite player just left. That might have completely changed the course of my life. I might not be here on Vol Talk begging for our 1,000 subscriber because I might not be as passionate about the Tennessee Volunteers because my favorite player who I just fell in love with ends up leaving the next season because of the current state of college football. That's why I think there needs to be at least 2 or 3 year contracts. That would be one of the main fixes I would implement as far as this NIL and stuff is concerned.
Yeah, 1,000%. Couldn't agree more. I could go on all day, Austin, about this NIL situation and how it's changed college football.